Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, Star Oil reveals plans to list on Ghana Stock Exchange and venture into bulk oil distribution business to control the whole fuel value chain.
I think it's definitely one of the options for our shareholders. The company has grown to this level, and there's a lot of interest from Ghanaians to participate in the success story. We are mindful of the fact that as number one OMC in Ghana, it helps a lot when we have a diversified ownership structure rather than just maybe 7 or 6 people being shareholders of the company.
Also coming up, PwC Ghana predicts a further fall in inflation in the coming months.
I think 8% is a good place to be. However, if you look at different parts of the world, or even if you look to neighboring countries, particularly the Francophone zone, they have inflation at much lower rates than 8%. So I don't think we would say that 8% is too low or that we're satisfied with 8%. It can get much lower, and we look forward to that.
Meanwhile, KPMG 2025 Africa CEO Outlook Survey shows that 78% of African CEOs are optimistic about their own organization's growth in the coming year. We have these and more coming up in the next 30 minutes. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this. My name is Winston Taki, and this is the marketplace. To our first business story. Oil marketing firm Star Oil has revealed that it is working to list on the Ghana Stock Exchange. The move is part of the plans to open up the business for more Ghanaians to share in its fortunes and expand into new areas like bulk oil distribution business. Chief Executive of Star Oil, Philip Tieku, has been speaking on PM Express Business Edition.
I think it's definitely one of the options for our shareholders. The company has grown to this level, and there's a lot of interest from Ghanaians to participate in the success story. We are mindful of the fact that as number one OMC in Ghana, it helps a lot when we have a diversified ownership structure rather than just maybe 7 or 6 people being shareholders of the company. So it's definitely one of the things that will be on the table, especially as we look into our backward integrations into tank farms and all the things that we want to do even further down the stream. We are a transport company as well. We could go into national transportation, for example. So when that time comes, we will definitely be looking at the stock exchange to raise capital to fund that. And I believe at that time we would have demonstrated quite clearly to our financing partners that we know what we are about. We are not a flash in the pan type of company. We understand this business very well. We trade very openly. We trade competitively, profitably, and this will not be a flash in the pan story. I tend to disagree with price alone as the reason we are number one. The reason is because if we did not deal with quality, our annual growth rates will not have been what you see. For any company to grow at the rates that we've grown at and be at the level that we are playing at, when industry average station sales is about 100,000 liters and ours is about 300,000 liters, it tells you that we have returning customers and we have retained a lot of them because they haven't had problems with our quality.
Moving away from that, the country's senior partner of PwC Ghana, Vish Ashagbo, says he is optimistic that Ghana's inflation will continue to decline in the coming months. Speaking at the 2025 PwC Cyber Forum in Accra, Mr. Ashagbo said the steady fall in inflation to 8% reflects growing economic stability and improved policy coordination between fiscal and monetary authorities. He added that with sustained discipline and private sector confidence, the country could see prices of goods and services stabilize within further.
2025 PwC Cyber Forum brought together key stakeholders from government, the private sector, and the tech community to discuss emerging threats and opportunities in the digital landscape. Country's senior partner of PwC Ghana, Vesh Ashabo said, if government maintains fiscal discipline and the private sector continues to respond positively, the country could experience even greater price stability.
But 8%, I think, is not too low. And actually, I think we'd like to see it go lower than 8%. Yes, in our environment, single-digit inflation has been a challenge. So yes, we think 8% is a good place to be. However, if you look at different parts of the world, or even if you look to neighboring countries, particularly the Francophone zone, they have inflation at much lower rates than 8%. So I don't think we would say that 8% is too low, or that we're satisfied with 8%. It can get much lower, and we'd look forward to that. You see, so the inflation and other indicators are a function of, if I put it simply, how we behave and how we manage our finances. So can we sustain it? We can. It's just a matter of us keeping the discipline in place. So it's doable. And actually the fact that it's dropped so significantly over the last few months shows that it can be done. Can we sustain it? It comes down to whether we can continue to be disciplined.
At the same event, the Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority, Divine Selassie Agbeti, called for deeper intelligence sharing between public institutions and private technology firms to counter the growing wave of cyber threat.
PwC remains a valuable partner in Ghana's cybersecurity development journey, supporting both government and private sector to build institutional resilience. By the way, before I attend any event where I am invited, I check whether the institution inviting me are actually compliant to the CSA requirements. So I checked. In fact, when I got here, I asked Jake again, are you sure they are compliant? He said yes. Okay, so I do check. So thank you.
The discussion at the forum highlighted the intersection between economic stability and digital security, underscoring the importance of coordinated policy efforts to ensure sustainable growth and safeguard Ghana's digital economy.
The Office of the Registrar of Companies has indicated that it will move to quickly withdraw licenses of any insolvency practitioners who fail to regularize their status by November 28 this year. There is more in the following report.
The registrar in a notice stated that her office will not hesitate to go ahead and enforce this if these practitioners fail to comply with their directive. According to the Office of the Registrar of Companies, it is undertaking this action in line with its Corporate Insolvency and Restructuring Act 2020. It therefore reminded the practitioners that their license is needed for them to be in good regulatory standing and to lawfully offer their services in the country. The registrar also reminded these practitioners that their offices are always open to address their concerns and clarifications, but added that it will not compromise on this license renewal when the deadline lapses.
The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has vowed to clamp down on all unlicensed investment entities defrauding the public with unrealistic investment products. As the Commission tightens enforcement, deepens education, and improves the regulatory framework towards a sanitized investment climate, its Director General James Kluche Aveji revealed that the newly amended Security Industry Act is undergoing stakeholder input. He added that the new bill is expected to be passed into law by the end of 2026. He spoke at a time with SEC program ongoing in Koforidua.
We continue to strengthen our market surveillance and enforcement system to detect irregularities early and hold offenders accountable. In doing so, we are also working closely with the law enforcement agencies, including the police, IOCO, the Judiciary, and Attorney General Department, to ensure that individuals and entities that defraud investors face the full consequences of the law. More importantly, the SEC is strengthening its oversight and regulatory powers to ensure fair market practices and investor protection. Hence, move to overhaul the current Security Industry Acts at 929 of 2016, as amended by the Security Industry Amendment Act of 2021 at 1062, to more robust acts for effective regulation. The new bill has so far gone through extensive internal review and will soon be submitted to the Ministry of Finance for consideration and onward submission to the Attorney General Department. It will subsequently be laid before Parliament for passage into law, potentially before the end of next year, 2026, all things being equal. The bill forms part of the effort to transition Ghana's capital market from a frontier to an emerging capital market status.
Still on SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission has admonished farmers to leverage the Ghana Commodity Exchange as a hedging tool to enable them to safeguard their investment and gain access to extra funds. Outlining some SEC's effort to promote the protection of investment, Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, James Cloutier Aveji, revealed that farmers can take advantage of the services of the Ghana Commodity Exchange to speedily market and sell their produce to reduce the menace of post-harvest losses. He spoke on the AM show this week.
In the case of the equity, it is not a fixed income. The dividend that you receive is based on the profits of that company. If the company made high profit, your dividend will be high. If the company make low profits, your dividend will be what? Will be low. If the company make no profit, no dividend. So that is how it is. But as I said, people go there with a long-term vision that this company in 10, 15 years' time, the value will grow. So my share value will grow. Sometimes about 500% or even 1,000%. So that is it. If you are buying treasury bills, you know the interest rate you are getting at the end of the period. If it's a 91-day, 182-day, or 365-day, you know already. So it's a fixed income. So these are the two types of markets we have. Then we have a commodity market where you can go, if you have commodities, maize, you have a farmer, you have maize or rice.
Rice, soya.
You go to the commodity market and then go and put your rice there and say, I have this quantity of rice. Can you give me receipts that will serve as money that I can even use to go to a bank and take loan?
Despite global economic uncertainty and geopolitical tensions, 78% of African CEOs are optimistic about their own organization's growth prospects. This is according to the KPMG 2025 Africa CEO Outlook Survey, which captures the perspectives of 130 CEOs across Southern, Eastern, and West Africa. There is more in this report. This year's result paint an optimistic picture underpinned by growth and investment despite economic challenges, with 78% expressing strong business confidence, up by more than 12% year-on-year, and 98% expecting business expansion over the short term. Similarly, mergers and acquisition appetite is surging, with 86% of African CEOs likely to pursue acquisitions in the next 3 years, up from 77% last year. Confidence in domestic economies is also rising, with 63% of African CEOs expressing optimism about their country's growth prospects, up from 61% in 2024. African CEOs are facing the same global forces, technological disruption, inflationary pressure, and geopolitical tensions, where 72% have adjusted their growth strategies to deal with market challenges, resulting in a continent where optimism is returning, strategy is converging, and leadership is being redefined. In another development, the president of the Ghana South Africa Business Chamber, Mr. Grant Weber, has commended Ghana's strong investment climate, transparent legal framework, and welcoming business environment, describing the country as one of Africa's most promising destinations for investors. Speaking to Joy Business, he praised the country's hospitality and ease of doing business, noting that Ghana provides an environment where investors can operate freely, efficiently, and with minimal bureaucracy.
But the policies now look sensible. I think there's a lot of work being done to attract inward investment, so I think that's encouraging. But the environment is still challenging, and I think that's why events like this are so important, where we bring together an international business community for an evening of networking and discussions. It's our 8th event, and I think our best event. I think each year we've tried to improve it, and this year having 4 chambers, the South Africans, the Dutch, the Belgians and the French have joined us this year. I think it's been an excellent addition. So these are the things we do to try and overcome a difficult economic environment.
Experts at the MTN Bright Conversation on Cybersecurity have emphasized the need for heightened vigilance and shared responsibility in safeguarding Ghana's digital space. The discussion brought together industry professionals to address rising cyber threat and the importance of adopting safe online practices. There is more in this report.
Senior Manager at the Cybersecurity Authority, Isaac Sokrit, during a panel discussion at the MTN Bright Conversation on Cybersecurity, noted that while Ghana has made progress in cybersecurity, no country can confidently claim complete safety in the digital landscape.
On your side, you would say you are safe, but on the criminal side, it's a different ballgame altogether. I don't think any country in this world can confidently sit and say, I am safe. So talking about Ghana's internet landscape or our threat landscape, I would say we have done well for ourselves to some extent. There's still a lot of work to do because we still see a rise in cybercrime activities.
Lawyer and media consultant Seth Japonawar during the panel discussion said Ghanaians must understand that online freedom comes with responsibility, adding that certain security measures such as OTPs are designed to protect users.
There's freedom online, however, your freedom should also be measured. If, for instance, yesterday somebody was telling me MTN gives you too many OTPs, they should just, once you log into the app, you should be able to do whatever you want to do and then you leave. And I told him, my brother, if you log into the app and somebody takes your phone, do you know what can happen? It's for your own good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that freedom you want, yes, it's good. Yeah. However, in the times that we find ourselves in, it is for your own good. This OTP is there to do what? Assist you to make you more secure.
The MTN Bright Conversation on Cybersecurity forms part of the company's broader commitment to promoting digital safety and resilience in Ghana's growing online community.
Still staying on MTN Ghana is taking cybersecurity education to the community as part of Global Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Speaking at a Digital for Good Masterclass, Senior Manager for Enterprise Information Security and Governance, Jacqueline Hansen-Kote, says the company is using this period to engage both customers and employees on safe digital practices to protect against online threats.
At the Digital for Good Masterclass event, Senior Manager for Enterprise Information Security and Governance Jacqueline Hansen-Kote highlighted a commitment to promoting cyber hygiene among the public.
We are educating our customers. We've been in some of our service centers. We were in Ablekuma service center about 2 or 3 weeks ago to talk to the customers about cybersecurity, to let people ask questions. I think with cybersecurity, sometimes we have to stop the talking and we have to listen because people have a lot of questions. People can get a bit confused, so we like to make ourselves available for people to ask us questions so that we clarify some of the concepts to them.
She added that internally, MTN is empowering staff with cybersecurity knowledge to reduce insider risk.
Internally, we've been talking to our staff, we've been educating them. In cybersecurity, I think quite a lot of, it's said that quite a lot of the danger comes from inside. So we need to make sure that our staff are educated enough so that they inadvertently don't cause the company any harm, or as we'll say, open the gates inside for the thieves to come in.
As digital engagement grows, MTN Ghana says its mission is to ensure every user understands the basics of cybersecurity, protecting not just their data, but their digital future.
We have more business update for you right after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the marketplace. My name is Winston Taki, and now to more business update. Ghana's Energy and Green Transition Minister John Jinapor is warning that the country's once thriving oil and gas industry risks collapse if urgent policy and regulatory reforms are not implemented. Speaking at the 12th Local Content Conference and Exhibition in Takoradi, he said years of stalled investment, inefficient regulation, and inconsistent policies have crippled growth in the sector, once seen as a key driver of Ghana's economic transformation. The minister has called for decisive reforms and innovation to restore investor confidence and reposition Ghana as a competitive player in the global energy market.
Once hailed as a catalyst for Ghana's economy transformation, the country's oil and gas industry is now struggling to stay afloat. Energy and Green Transition Minister John Jinapor says the sector's challenges, ranging from regulatory inefficiencies to inconsistent policies and a cumbersome tax regime, have made Ghana less attractive to investors.
Indeed, this industry is seeing some precipitous decline when it comes to oil production. Oil production from last year to this year has dropped by about 25%. In real monetary terms, the monetary value has dropped by over 50%, from about 1.35 billion in 2024. If the trend continues the way it is, we are going to lose about 50% of that amount. And so the stark reality is that if we do not do anything, if we do not arrest the decline and improve on our oil production, we may not have local content conferences such as this in the near future. Ambiguous and inconsistent policies has sent mixed signals to the investment community, coupled with a burdensome tax regime, have collectively made Ghana less attractive and less competitive relative to our peers.
The acting chief executive officer of the Petroleum Commission, Victoria M. Fahad Castle, reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to revitalizing the upstream petroleum sector.
We ought to take measures to immediately revive investor confidence and to turn around the fortunes of the industry, increase contract opportunities for Ghanaian companies. The theme revitalizing Ghana's petroleum sector is born out of this message. Despite the acceleration of the global energy transition and the move towards cleaner fuel, Ghana, pursuant to our energy transition framework, must harness in a sustainable manner its petroleum resources for national development and energy security.
Stakeholders here in Takoradi believe collaboration and innovation will be crucial to turning the tide. In Athalia Kwanza, Joy News, Takoradi.
That's all for today's edition of The Marketplace. Thank you for watching. But before we go, know that we have more business update for you on myjoyonline.com. City to weaken slightly in Q4, back to end 2025. Appreciation against the dollar, according to Fitch report. Also, inflation to fall to 6.5% in November 2025. We have more insightful stories here on myjoyonline.com. Thank you for watching. My name is Winston Taki. Enjoy your weekend. And we have amazing programs for you here on Joy News. Keep watching. Have a good business day. Bye-bye.